What's up, losers? I am Luke, and this is Luke Loses. Now, remember, when I say loser, I mean it with love, because we are losing the weight, losing the unhealthy lifestyle, and losing that negative image we have for ourselves. As always, I do not have any fitness or nutrition education. Everything I talk about here is from asking people questions, searching the internet, and my own personal experience. You can check out my website, lukeloses.carrd.co. That's CARRD.co. If you go on there, you can find all the links to my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and some links to where you can find the podcast. All right, so let's get into the episode. Today, I will be talking about issues with food. There are tons of issues out there, whether it's bulimia, anorexia, sugar addict, so on and so forth. My problems with food are restricting, grazing, emotional eating, and binging overeating. For those of you that are not familiar with what they are, restricting is where you don't eat enough calories throughout the day. That's one of my big problems when I try to lose weight. Like most people, you want to lose the weight as fast as possible and get results. So I would go really low on my calorie intake. That's how I lost so much weight over the past 7 years. But it's not sustainable. I won't be able to do that forever. And they say restricting leads to binging, and we don't want that either. I've been doing pretty good this time around. I'm sticking to a higher calorie that will give me an estimated loss of about 2 pounds a week. But there are some times that I realize that I've ate very little, and I kind of have to check myself just to make sure that I'm not trying to hit those goals too fast, because I'm going to put that weight back on as soon as I eat a little bit more. As for grazing, think of a cattle farm where you would see cows out in a field just eating grass all day long. So that's what I do. If there's food out and I see it and I walk past it, I might reach over, grab a handful of whatever it is, whether it's potato chips or cookies, and I'll walk away. A little bit later, I'll come back and do it again over and over without realizing that I'm overdoing it. On the days that I do find myself grazing, I usually go over my calorie intake for the day. Now, emotional eating is just that. You eat your feelings, whether you're happy, sad, angry, whatever the case may be. For me, I've even spoke to some people about it, where in my mind, I'm eating to make myself feel good. And I've also explained it. Food gets me. Food understands me. Food never hurts my feelings. It does what it's supposed to do, in my mind, what I think it's supposed to do, and that's make me feel better. And all three of these issues with food leads to my next one, whether I go into a binge or overeat. Now, binging and overeating is frequently consuming an unusually large amount of food in one sitting, to where you have the feeling that your eating behavior is out of control. Some people have that feeling, some people don't. But a lot of people have at one time binged or overate, whether you're at a holiday dinner or out at a buffet with the family, and you get that stuffed feeling, you know you overdid it. But for people that are binge eaters and overeaters, it's a regular occurrence. It happens pretty much every day. And for me, when I did it, the feelings I got were amazing, even though I felt disgusted. I'll get into that more later. Now, for me, people ask me, why do you binge? Why did you overeat? Why did you do that? And I'm not sure why. There's no food in particular that makes me go into a binge or an overeat. It just happens when I feel like doing it. I recently made a list for foods that make me binge, and the list went on. But I do have some foods that I binge more than others. Like peanut butter. I love peanut butter, and I will eat it right out of the jar. I'll eat the whole thing, and peanut butter is so high in calories. After a couple spoonfuls, I'm at 700 calories in just peanut butter. So when I have ate before, whether I'm binge eating or not, up until recently, I've never got a full feeling. I've got a stuffed feeling where I overdid it, but I've never been halfway through my plate and been, oh wow, I'm full. I'll save this for later or just throw it out. I've never done that. If it's on my plate, I'll eat it. If it's there, I will try to eat as much of it as possible. I get almost a high feeling from it, like food is my drug, and I am just in a trance of great feeling and love. Now, recently, for the first time, I had that full feeling. I can't remember what we were eating, but I looked at my wife and I said, babe, I think I'm full. And she said, you think you're full? And yeah, first time ever, I was done with my plate before it was finished. It definitely was a weird feeling getting that for the first time. So the feeling I got when I ate would be satisfied, but it was from what I did. All the food that I just consumed, the great food that I love, whatever it was, it made me feel good, and that's what I was satisfied from. Never full, but satisfied. I would get stuffed, that disgusting feeling you get when you overeat at a buffet. I would strive for that every time I ate. I loved that feeling. Now, picture Kevin from The Office, if you've ever watched the show. Every time he bites into a candy bar, he just screams out, oh yeah. That's the feeling I get when I eat anything. It's not just the food that I love, it's the whole form of eating. Chewing it, swallowing it, feeling it travel through my body, and having to undo my pants and belch and just, ugh. That is such a great feeling to me. It sounds crazy, and I'm sure it is, but that's what I loved. The best way to explain what's going through my mind when I'm doing this is in the movies you see an angel pop up on one shoulder and a devil pop up on the other. My devil's saying, keep eating, it's great, we love that feeling, keep going, keep going. And the angel's saying, why are you doing this? You know you're going to feel like crap for the next couple days. Why are you doing it for just that moment of satisfaction? And I usually give in. But as of lately, I've been doing really well with sticking to my calorie count, sticking to a healthier food choices, and not overdoing it. Now, one of the last times that I overate, I remember I made a bag of pizza rolls, and it's not a plate of pizza rolls, an entire bag on a giant plate. I microwaved them, and don't give me crap for microwaving my pizza rolls. Hey, I'm a fat guy and a food addict, and it's a lot faster than the oven. And I don't know if normal people who eat the right amount of pizza rolls know about this, but when you put too many in the microwave, they don't all cook at that mark, whatever you put it in, 3 minutes or whatever. So I'm sitting there eating these pizza rolls, shoving them in my mouth. Some of them are cold. Some of them are too hot. I'm loving it. I'm in it like, oh, this is so great. I love this. But then at the same time, I'm thinking, why are you doing this? For me, it's always that feeling of accomplishment. Like one time, my buddy and I, my truck broke down and we were sitting on the side of the road for a couple hours. We got it going and we went to a McDonald's, and we joke about this, and he thought it was the funniest thing he ever seen, but I got a large thing of fries and I pretty much dumped the whole box in my mouth, and I'm trying to chew them while I'm driving. It was like I was starved, but I wasn't even hungry. I just wanted to eat. Another time, there was a restaurant that if you ate this giant burrito, you got a t-shirt and the burrito was free. They give you an hour, and I did it in I think 15 minutes. Another example of me overeating, there was a restaurant near here that had a 64-ounce steak. And if you ate it within an hour, it was free. If you didn't, it was $75. It comes with a baked potato, salad, and I call it a pop because I'm from Michigan. Most people call it soda. I drank 6 pops. I ate the salad. I ate the baked potato, and I ate the whole 64-ounce steak. Now, you only have to eat the steak, but I ate all of that 24 minutes, and that was 7 minutes faster than it had ever been done before. I was so proud of that. I told that story over and over. I was just so proud. Another thing, drinking. I had a giant beer mug that would hold 3 beers. And I could slam that mug, drink it all down super fast. I would go to the bars with that beer mug and challenge people and say, if I can drink this faster than you can drink your beer, which was like a 1.5-can beer mug, I'll buy you a beer, or you buy me a beer, or buy me something from the grill. And I would do it, and I would always win. I would never lose. So I got so much free food and free beer that way, and I was destroying myself doing it, but I loved it. And a huge part of why I loved it was people would cheer me on and tell me how badass I am because I could do that and nobody else could. And same thing with the steak or the burrito. I would do it and boast about it because I knew I could do that. And people would think it was, in quotes, cool. And it never was. I was just destroying myself and my insides. When I ate that steak, it was horrible for the next week and a half. Anything I did, I felt miserable. But you can believe I ate. I didn't starve myself after eating that. I still ate. I think we even went out to eat afterwards. Ridiculous. Insane. And all these things tie into a food addiction and a unhealthy relationship with food. And that's what I strive for. And that is one of my main goals, is to have a healthy relationship with food. I say it, normal people, what normal people eat, that's what I want to eat. I want to be able to go out, get pizza, and have maybe 2 slices and a breadstick or 2. And not the whole pizza and the whole bag of breadsticks all to myself. So I have a app on my phone that counts how many days it's been since I've binge eat or overate. And as this is being recorded, I am 95 days into my last binge eat. I'm really excited about that. Now, the want is still there. I still want to overeat. And I don't crave food like fast food or whatever. I crave binge eating. I tell my wife all the time that I just want to eat. I want to eat so much stuff. Now, some days are a lot harder than others, especially like the holidays. We stayed home for Thanksgiving and Christmas with just our kids. And on Thanksgiving, we ate, my wife and I had finished, and the kids were still eating. So we sat at the table just talking, and I would reach over and grab this or grab that and start eating it. And my wife noticed it. I know what she was trying to do. She was trying to be slick, and she said, "Babe, let's go sit on the couch." And it worked. It pulled me away from the food. And instead of sitting there grazing, I walked away and I didn't overeat, which I'm thankful for. And after everyone was done eating, I did the dishes while she put the food away so I wouldn't be tempted with eating it right then and there. Christmas was even worse. We didn't do a traditional Christmas dinner. We did chicken wings, different kinds. We did fried, we did seasoned, whatever. And I went back for a second plate. And I did it, and I didn't go over my calories, thankfully, but I was ready to get a third plate and keep going, and I wanted to. And I was kind of mad at myself because I didn't do it. But I thought to myself, why do this now for a little bit of satisfaction when I'm going to be miserable for days later? And that leads me into another thing. I may have touched on this a little bit in another episode. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I at least thought about it. But this was a few years ago when I tried to lose the weight before I realized that I had a food addiction and all these other issues with food. But I wasn't going to eat any birthday cake. My wife said to me, "You have to. It's a birthday party. That's required." I stuck to my guns, said no, I didn't eat it. But now looking back, I understand that if I would have ate that piece of cake, that's all I would have thought about for the next week. And I wouldn't have been able to shake it, and chances are I would have overate. So one of the tools that I have that I've been using that has really helped me is a 12-step program for overeating and food addiction and bulimia. Anybody who's got any issues with food, it's there to help, and it's free. I found the program, and there's so many people in it. I've been in meetings on Zoom where there's 300 people. Now, that's extreme. That was a Thanksgiving meeting. For the most part, it's about 30, 40 people, and it's full of people like myself that have these struggles and understand it. Now, the people in my life, I love them dearly, but if they're not overweight and if they don't have this problem, they don't get it. Most of the time, they just say, well, just eat less if you want to lose weight. For people like me, it's not that simple. It is a mental game. It is a struggle every day. And with this program, I've gotten to meet some amazing people. I've got about 50 new phone numbers in my phone that I can message or call if I'm struggling, and they get it, because if they're not going through it right now, they've been where I'm at and can help me through it. It's an awesome program. I absolutely love it. So now I will move on to my weigh-in. This morning when I stepped on the scale, I was 370 pounds. So this is 2 weeks in a row I've lost 4 pounds, and I've been at my calories. So I'm not restricting, but I'm continuously losing the weight, which is awesome. And I'm really excited. And at 370, I reached a goal. Now, my main goal is 250 pounds. I do 15-pound mini goals in between. I don't give myself a time limit. I just shoot for it. So if it takes 8 weeks or 3 months, whatever, I'm not discouraged because I'm heading in the right direction. Thank you all for listening. Again, you can go to my website, lukeloses.card. That's CARRD.co. All my links are there. Feel free to message me, email me, whatever you want, whenever you want. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you enjoyed the episode, please, if you know somebody who struggles with their weight, losing weight, keeping it off, food addiction, and you feel like they could benefit from it, please share this podcast with them. Now, with that being said, don't just go up to your bigger friend and be like, hey, check this out. But if they reached out to you before and have told you that they have this issue, let them know about us here. It would be much appreciated. So thanks again for listening. Do the work, trust the process, and I will see you next week.